Good morning. Good morning. Hey, let's see. I'm talking to somebody and they're talking about we weren't talking about yawns. Good morning. We were talking about history and talking about the dynamics of the mindset of everything from sexuality to just what's been going on in the world. And homosexuality and trans and binary, non-binary, all these terms and all this, right? And one of my points was that it's always been there. For the most part, society kind of dictated and pushed under the rug a bunch of stuff, but it's always been there. Some of it's brought on by the lust of man. I'm not really sure on the chromosome thing that you can say that, that a person is more masculine or more feminine, but I said one of the things that I noticed is that you have a science that really hasn't gone back. I'm not sure exactly when. I'd have to look into it. But psychology, sociology, and those sciences of the mind and of the thinking and the mannerisms. So they're really not that old, realistically. I don't think they go back but 100, 200 years at best. But at some point, the medical field realized, wait a minute, observations are everything. And so it's kind of like, if you want to know how things are going on in a household, you bring the youngest kids in and set them down in a play area and tell them to play house. You get more information out of a kid that way just by watching them and watching how he plays or she plays mommy and daddy roles and stuff like that. You'll find out the kind of environment they lived in. Observational. Okay? So, going back to this historical thing, at some point, when it divided that we needed to do these things for the better understanding of who we are, getting more to, and that was the embarking of being touchy-feely, as I call it. It wasn't too long before you had quote-unquote experts in the field. And what gave them the expert is that the expertise is that they were observing, that they were compiling all the information and stuff like that. Not necessarily, they didn't have the answers for stuff, but we're talking about a time that where dividing lines were pretty well set. In our culture, a woman's place was in the home, and the guy's place was out doing stuff, and it was this pretty clear set thing. Well, I guarantee you, during rough times or whatnot, been a lot more husbands alive if a woman was able to come out and help. And I'm sure there are households that were that way that you'll never hear about. You know, I mean, be it with chores or be it defending the home. Okay? In the same token, I'm sure there's a lot of times that it would have been nice on the inside for the woman to have the guy there helping out, and especially knowing that women go through menopause and whatnot. You know, and expected to raise a bunch of kids. I guarantee you they were going through postpartum depressions and stuff. So that being said, the psychology, the wanting to know what was going on, or, you know, how we could fix this and how we can cope, began to be observed and picked apart. Okay? The beginning of touchy-feely. When you start to begin that process, there are going to be some people that finally get to the point that capitalize and say, hey, I'm an expert in the field. What do you need to know? There are also those on the other side that are going to go, I'm having problems in my home. What's going on? Help me understand. And once they started understanding, it opens up another door. Can they cope with it? Can they not? You know, some people were losing their minds over what was simple social family, structuring. So that's what I was saying. Now we're advancing ourselves and we're talking about the different aspects on sexuality. And yeah, you should have a group out there pushing and saying a man is a man, a woman is a woman, and they're denying any homosexuality and all that, but they're basing it on a biblical principle. Okay. Fact is that all this stuff was going on all the way back then, and probably more. We will get to that point, hopefully, sometime, that we realize that we are physical beings. Therefore, the physical touch is both put off and inviting. It feels good or it cannot feel good. It can be moral or it could be demoralizing. Take your pick. It comes with not only the tools to understand the touch and understand the closeness of being with another person, but it also it comes with the understanding that there's more to understand. Okay? People nowadays that have been through a bunch of different stuff, be it traumatic or be it family situations, know just as much as those doctors did 150 years ago. We technically, as a group of people, know as much as those doctors did then. And yet, here we are. Still reaching for ladder rungs. Still scratching our heads. At some point, you need to nail it down and understand we're human. We're subject to fail, subject to success. You know, we're prone to all these things, including the ups and downs on our physical nature. And our physical nature dictates a lot, because for each and every one of us, it's that close to our heart all the time. When people aren't there, when you don't have that social aspect, you have yourself and only yourself to talk to. Theoretically, you could talk to God or a dead, deceased loved one. But it still comes down to the individual person. And so how we cope with things, how we understand that situational paradigm that we get into is always calling for us to buck up, always calling for us to have an understanding beyond what we are used to. But do know that we are, and kind of heard this in other terms, but we are the best expert of our own self. Question is, can we handle, or can we use the tools we've been given to manage that body, manage that mind? That's what I wanted to say. Do I have an answer? No. Except that I keep striving and pushing to do so. Because of my own experiences in life were apparently a lot more drastic than others. Not special by any means. Just another case study in the genome of human existence on this planet over thousands of years. Okay? Was able to talk about these kind of things at the same time backing up into a workspace to go to work at 30 at 5:30 in the morning, sandwiched between Christmas and New Year's. And I got nothing but love for you. And like, again, you know, these videos are just meant to as a therapy for me. And if it ever comes down to anything, that they're a therapy for you. Whoever. It's meant for understanding. And just to talk things out. This is my talking to God. This is my talking to, you know, the shoulder. This is also hearing from the angel on one shoulder and the demon on the other, and, you know, brushing both of them off so I can keep walking, you know. We're all human. And from this human to whoever human may hear this, got nothing but love for you. Nothing but love. Have a great day.